Pawn's drunk.
Am I the prettiest?
Pawn's drunk.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Pawn's drunk.
Well, who am I?
Pawn's drunk.
Who am I?
Pawn's drunk.
I can't hear you.
Pawn's drunk. AKA Mr. Moo Woo Shot himself.
Of Harlem.
You already know this is Pawn, Drunk, Boxing, aka Mr. Moo Shine himself, aka El Bobo, aka El Sazón, aka El Borracho. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are this side of heaven. God bless you all. Dios te bendiga, everybody's. My mother's focus, mi mother's focus. Forkies. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Just gotta say this first. The interview has been postponed for tomorrow. Happy Hour Thursday, the most dangerous show in the YTBC. So, Dave McWaters, Teofimo Lopez manager, technical difficulties, is gonna be back. Is gonna come tomorrow to Punch Run Boxing, same time tomorrow. Happy Hour Thursday, the most dangerous show in the YTBC. But ladies and gentlemen, let's warm it up for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, you see the title, change the thumbnail. We're still going to be talking about the same subject. Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos, New York City, MSG, the Brooklyn born, coming back home. In the same week, we got the anticipating trilogy with Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, going to try to do what he did to Deontay Wilder in their rematch. Deontay Wilder out there looking great in his sparring, looking good in his sparring, digging to the body, staying off the line, doing great feint work, doing good movement. Looked like he got this, and he looked like he got focus and determination to rewrite his wrong. George Kambosos training with the likes of Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao also stated that George Kambosos is that guy that pushed him to the limit. George Kambosos is Manny Pacquiao's favorite trainer. You know who Manny Pacquiao is. The 8th Division World Champion, the 5 lineal, the 12-time World Champion, the Ambassador, the Senator, the Humanitarian, the great husband, the great father, the best karaoke singer of them all, the GOAT, Manny Pacquiao. Yes, George Kambosos, under the tutelage of Manny Pacquiao, gonna use all that, intelligence into the ring when it's October 4th versus Teofimo Lopez. The pound for pound, undefeated, undisputed, lineal, undisputed, the lightweight king, the commander-in-chief, the captain of this generation, Brooklyn's own, Teofimo motherfucking Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, el Pacastram, dímelo mi hermano. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen, smash the like button inmediatamente, coñazo, que estoy trabajando aquí, Vamos a ver, más respeto al tipo aquí, más respeto. Good looking now, my brother, good looking now. Tomorrow, we had technical difficulties on where he's from, so it's better that we do it tomorrow and stuff like that, so we can give you the best content, the best image. So tomorrow, same time, Dave McWaters is gonna join us. He couldn't join us right now, so we had to reschedule for tomorrow. It is what it is. It happens. You understand what I'm trying to say? We can't control the weather. Give me Un momento, señor. Just to start it off, ladies and gentlemen, to start it off. Pancho, can you start it off for the people out there? Because they want to hear you, Pancho. They want to hear that beautiful voice that you got, Pancho. Can you start it off for the people out there? A little tune. You know, when you was in school, you used to have the Star Spangled Banner, stuff like that. When we begin school before class starts, I pledge you that what this is. Pancho got to start it off for Punch Your Own Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine, a.k.a. El Adobo, a.k.a. El Sazón, a.k.a. El Borracho. Pancho, dale, coñazo.
Dennis told me, Dennis let us know. Said it needs me, had him at the bone. Wait a minute. Spin me right out low. Dennis started show man, 2090 feet.
¡Cho! ¡Cántale ese tipo! And his competition, I gotta show him love too.
You'll never be alone. I'll be with you from door to door. I'll be with you from door to door. Baby, I'm right here. I'll be with you from door to door. Baby, I'm right here. But you'll never be alone.
You know, just a little laughter to start you off. A little tune won't hurt. Happy Hour Thursday, Teofimo Lopez, manager Dave McWaters. Tune in on the most dangerous happy hour on the YTBC. Tell him HLD. Yes, tomorrow, Dave McWaters. Yes, man. Again, it's gonna be is rescheduled for tomorrow. Had difficulties in the area that he's at. So of course, man, we want to give you the best content. We want to give you the best content. We want everything to be legible for the ears to hear and things of that nature. So tomorrow, and y'all already know tomorrow is even a better day because it's the most dangerous show. Anything goes. Anybody could show up and pop up. Anybody want to beef with somebody, you know? This is the show that happens. You know what I'm saying? The most dangerous show in the mother effing YTB mother effing scene. Ladies and gentlemen, also, so let's talk about a little bit what's going on in the sport of boxing before we really head into the topic of today. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know Anthony Joshua going to be fighting Alexandra Usic September 25th. And I think in North America, we haven't been really talking about this fight and really dialed into this fight and, you know, talking about in technical perspective. I did a video, I believe it was yesterday. California shut out. Yeah. T.O. running from Loma. Loma, what the F? Come on, man. You know that ain't true. What? So, we got Anthony Joshua versus Alexandra Usyk for the rest of the belts in the heavyweight division. Alexandra Usyk, y'all already know, Olympian, former undisputed in the cruiserweight division, going for his hardest task. Pause. Anthony Joshua, they're the Black Terminator. That's gonna be a good fight. This week was supposed to be Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton. Damn, that would have been a good one, y'all. That would have been a good one. But hope Brandon Figueroa gets well soon and they reschedule in a timely fashion. David Benavidez is gonna be performing, I believe, November 13th, so that's gonna be good. And yo, look at the week. There's people out there. I don't know. I'm kind of confused by the people out there that's complaining. Rap Star Boxing Knowledge in the building. Everybody subscribe to Rap Star Boxing Knowledge. UK. Teofimo Lopez is gunning for your UK bruv, Josh Taylor. Where is Josh Taylor? Gonna be fighting Jack Catterall this December. Jack Catterall, gotta give applause again to Jack Catterall. Why we gotta give applause to Jack Catterall? Because Jack Catterall did what we all wanted him to do, and he did it for the good of the sport. He did it good for the boxeo. He did it good for the 140 undisputed title fight with Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. He stepped aside because he wanted to do it for the greater good of the sport. He wanted to do it for the greater good of the history, of the legacy of these both men. This is what I'm talking about. That's a gentleman. This is what a gentleman's sport is. I'm a let y'all do what you got to do because this is a historic fight. Matter of fact, I want to see it too. I'm going to step aside, and if y'all promise me, whoever the winner is, I'm going to fight y'all. Cool, good. That's what Jack Catterall did. Josh Taylor is a man of his word. Going to give him a shot. So this is what I like about the sport of boxing. See, man, if Deontay Wilder could have stepped aside so we could see the Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury for the greater good of the sport. But it is what it is. Not everybody got to think the same. not everybody got to do it for the goodness of the sport. But he wants his get back. Deontay Wilder wants his get back. Tyson Fury is willing to give it back to him. I mean, the ass whooping, trying to give it back. Deontay Wilder said, no, I'm rejuvenated. Ladies and gentlemen, did a video earlier because, of course, we was talking about Deontay Wilder was stating that he's forced to be a villain. And I had to give you another perspective. I understand. I feel the pulse of the YTBC. I know there's fans of Deontay Wilder, but I also know there's fans of Deontay Wilder that's actually been frustrated how he took his loss. I was one of them. I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder. Matter of fact, I'm going for Deontay Wilder. I'm going for Deontay Wilder to beat Tyson Fury. And I know it's a hard task because Tyson Fury might have his number. But me, I just believe. I don't even think about too much of what Deontay Wilder said, after the Tyson Fury, because of course it turned me off. It turned a lot of people off. Some people just rock with it, some people don't. I just don't feel if you was gonna go head to the trilogy, forget about everything that was spoken about. You was heading to the trilogy. Let's go get that fight, get back into training, fix what you need to fix, go back to the drawing board. That's what Deontay Wilder did. So everything that was said should be irrelevant by now. Punch Run, HLD in the building, Punch Run, 35K, subscribes and growing. Gracias, mi hermano, ahí trabajando duro, tú sabes. Hey, working very hard right here, my friend. Thank you very much, and man, thank you for the support. Thank you for the support, and everybody out there, man, that support the channel and donate to the channel, man. I highly appreciate it. Pero vamos a ponerlo ahí. If you want to donate to the channel, you can get it right there. $ Punch Run Boxing. Smash the like button. Help the visibility of the video on the stream. And share it. Share it to the people. Real boxing talk right here, son. Real boxing talk right here. High, low, the low. If it's moonshine, it gotta be great. Better than my effing Frosted Flakes. High, low in the building. Yo, let me say what's up to the people. Gracias, mi hermano. Te lo agradezco, mi hermano. De lo mío. Let me say what's up to the people right quick. No remorse. Will in the building. Just Blaze in the building. Jay Triller. Jay Will Cash. Edwin Solano. Dímelo, mi hermano. Rapstar. Cali. Let's go. Yo, C. In the building, what's good, borracho? Estoy bien aquí, pero in very sober today. Hey, yo, you got weed for sale in Brooklyn, New York? Oh shit, he's trying to get it in right here, man. He think this is the block. Yo, see, you think this is the block? Trying to get the hustle on, man. Do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. Witness the host in the building. What's good? Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Bud Crawford and Sean Porter. A great fight. Lewis in the building. Rider of the Storm. Asking to find out the difference since I'm in LA. Oh, he's talking about the weed game. Okay. Everybody doing business out here, huh? Everybody want to be Tony Montana in the chat, huh? You doing drug business, eh? Yeah. Special guest gonna be joining me in just a little bit. Special guest gonna be joining me in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets right now. If you're in New York City, you're going to witness the lightweight king, Teofimo Lopez, MSG. Y'all already know, man. The Mecca, Teofimo Lopez back in New York City where he belongs. Maybe it was fate. You feel me? Miami was, nah, I got to be in New York City, man. After that win with Lomachenko, we got to bring it back home to New York City. Matter of fact, I'm happy. I don't give a damn what y'all feel. He's coming back home to my city, baby. New York City on a Monday. Yo, what I got to be on a Monday for? Like, where you got to be on a Monday for? Monday, sis. That's what I know. Anybody, man, travel to New York City, man, and live the nightlife, man. Monday, my Monday. Your Saturday is my Monday. All right? So I don't give a damn. It's a Monday. And why, and like I said yesterday, why people so fickle? Why people so bad? You think you dissing the kid? Look, he fighting on a Monday. Yeah, just like the NCAA tournament be on a Monday, right? The finals be on a Monday, just like Monday Night Raw be on a Monday. You don't watch WWE on a Saturday. Remember the WWE? That was the whack. You see it on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, AEW. Yeah. Monday Night Football. Yeah. So if y'all can watch all of that, then damn, I'm watching boxing on my Monday. That's my Monday Night Boxing. How about that, baby? How about that? Don't get mad. Don't get mad. If you're a boxing fan, you want boxing every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hey, come on, man. I want boxing every day. In the same week, Teofimo Lopez. And you got the Gypsy King. You got Teofimo Lopez to start it. You got the Gypsy King, Deontay Wilder to end it. George Kambosos. Shout out to George Kambosos and all the Australian people. Teofimo Lopez is trying to keep the man from down under. Pause. Sean Porter, Buck Crawford. It's about damn time. People are saying, damn, Buck Crawford, it's about damn time. He is going to have some competition in the welterweight division. Punch Wrong Boxing into you. Good, yes. Tell him. Hello. Tell him. Pause. Most people are going to watch it. I know. You know what's funny? When people be like, I ain't going to pay for the pay-per-view. I'm not going to pay for the pay-per-view. Shut the fuck up. You're going to be watching the fight. I ain't going to pay for the pay-per-view. But they're going to do a bunch of videos about it. After the fight, they're going to do a video about it. You're going to capitalize, right? You're going to capitalize off Teofimo and Lopez, but you don't want to fight. But you don't want to buy the pay-per-view, you cheapskate. Yo, whatever boxing content creator be like, I ain't gonna buy the pay-per-view. I ain't gonna buy the pay-per-view. If you tell them right there in the comment box, then don't report on it. Don't do no videos about it. Don't talk about Tio and George Kambosos before or after the fight. Don't capitalize off them. If they not worth to pay for it, then don't do no contents about it. Easy. Don't do nothing about it. But how much you want to bet they're going to do it? The same people that be like, I'm not going to pay for no Jake Paul. Yeah, always doing live commentary to Jake Paul. I ain't going to pay for Jake Paul. I hate Jake Paul. What the fuck are you doing for boxing? And everybody was on that Jake Paul fight. Shut up. Samir in the building. What's good? Got my ticket punched. Tio versus Kambosos. We lit on a Monday. Tell him, Samir. Tell him. I'm taking my kids to see the WWE on a Monday, Madison Square Garden. He got school the next day. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. No cheapos around here. Samir, that's what I'm talking about. Support the fighter that went in there, beat Lomachenko. See, this is what I said to I forgot in the comment box. What's good, Eliza? I said like this. I said, yo, he said, I'm not going to pay for that fight. If he's fighting Loma, Josh Taylor, or Devin Haney, then I will pay for the fight. You probably don't even got the zone anyway. Yeah.
What's going on?
Look who's in the building. Fight hype himself. Sean, what's good?
We're live now? No.
Uh-oh.
We live now, Eddie?
Live.
Oh, we're live and direct, huh?
Yes.
On YouTube?
Yes, sir.
What's
Live.
going on, man? What do you got for me? What do you got for me, brother?
Hey, man, boxing is good. Boxing is great. I was just finished talking about, we got Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury on the same week. What you feel about that?
Oh, shit.
I think, yeah, you good?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Go ahead. So we got Tio coming up and Kambosos and what else?
On the same week, we got Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. What you feel about that?
Well, at least they're not on the same night, right? I mean, I saw someone tweet that maybe it wasn't the smartest thing for Teofimo to compete with Monday Night Football, but if that's how – oh, wait, did they move it to Tuesday? Because it's Monday, right?
Nah, it's still on Monday. They moved it from Tuesday.
Okay, so yeah, they got to – yeah, so they're going to have to go head-to-head with Monday Night Football, but look, man, I'm just happy that fight's finally getting out of the way. We were supposed to be wrapped up in June, and then Teofimo could have been looking towards something like Devin Haney or a Lomachenko rematch, or building towards a Josh Taylor fight. So, regardless of the business, it's not our money. So I'm just happy they're getting it out of the way, and it doesn't conflict with the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight later that week. It's gonna be a lit week of boxing.
Yeah, that's what's up. I really don't understand what people be like, man, why is on a Monday? I mean, don't we watch other sports on a Monday? Why we can't watch boxing on a Monday? If you're a boxing fan, I could watch boxing every day.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried. Like, me personally, I'm not watching Monday Night Football when the fight's going on. I'm good. Like, I'm going to be watching the fight, but I understand that point of, to get the most viewers possible for that fight, maybe you find a way to get it on Tuesday or Wednesday, but hey, not my problem. I'm a fan. I just watch the fights, and I'm ready to watch Teo do his thing. As far as the fight goes, Eddie, I'm not sure if you saw the interview we got with Tim Bradley after this Valdez fight where he broke down Teo and Kambosos, but I thought Tim, as always, was great with his analysis. Kambosos, I don't think he's coming just to go 12 with the champ or happy to get the payday. He's coming to win. And I think in coming to win, he's going to give a lot of opportunities to get the kind of knockout that he wants in this fight. Because for Teofimo, this fight really isn't good enough to just win. He more or less, needs out if performance in a fight with Kambosos. So I think Kambosos is going to come to get to fight. He's going to he sees the right overhand in an exchange. And in an exchange part is important because Kambosos is going to be opening up his offense. And Teo's a great counter puncher with power in both hands, speed, reflexes. I just think Teo, he's going to get his opportunities to get the knockout he's looking for. I don't think Kambosos will be running in that fight. He does have some good boxing ability. He can get in and out. He's a little cuter than he seems with his skills. He's got some nice counter, a nice check hook when he goes back
on a retreat.
Teofimo though his talent is that of a superstar. So there's levels to this. He should look like a superstar. What do you think?
Well,
what do you think, Eddie?
I do think that George Kambosos does come with a good challenge, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of people, I don't even think a lot of people, I feel a lot of people, is picking Teofimo Lopez knockout, early. But I think it's mostly because I don't think people really know George Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they know him that much, so they rather run with the Teofimo Lopez going to knock him out in the first, second, third round. I think that George Kambosos is an extreme talent, in my opinion. I think he got one of the fastest hands in the lightweight division. Now, when it comes to power, I don't think he has the power to actually back up a Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez decides to pursue him, I think that Teofimo Lopez he showed us that his IQ is up to par, way more than what people thought it was. We saw that in the Lomachenko fight. He's smart. If he don't see nothing, he doesn't waste any punches. He doesn't waste any movement, and he's a very smart fighter. And I saw that coming in the amateur. This is why I picked Teofimo Lopez to actually outbox Lomachenko, just looking at what he did in the amateurs and how he was fighting. I do think that Teofimo Lopez is well prepared, just like George Kambosos. I think he's well prepared. Maybe some people will be like, are they overtrained coming into this fight? Probably. That's going to be something that we could look at, but I think that George Kambosos, he throws enough punches for Teofimo Lopez to actually sit and counter him. I think that's how George Kambosos' style is. He's going to come forward. He's not going to retreat, but he's going to be subjected to be countered, in my opinion. I think that's what's going to happen. And then I think Teofimo Lopez will stop him. Teofimo Lopez is a big dude as well. So I think that all the advantage goes to Teofimo Lopez.
I think that was a really good assessment, and you not underestimating Kambosos heading into this fight reminds me of myself and a lot of media people underrating Ugas going into Pacquiao.
Facts.
And I have a feeling you weren't one of those people underestimating Ugas heading into Pacquiao. And so we even yourself included, we got him by stoppage and pretty much for the same reasons. Teofimo's counter punching when they open up an exchange. Special when you come towards him. And I like you, I picked him to beat Lomachenko as well because I knew Lomachenko's a front foot fighter. And that was out for Teo. So it'll be interesting if Kambosos, who does have legs, who does have some foot movement, if he comes in and out and he gives Teofimo some angles and some movement, how Teo will deal with that. Because we have to see Teofimo cut off the ring. We saw when Nakatani gave him some distance and made him have to cut distance, he has some problems. So maybe Kambosos surprises us and he's going to put his boxing shoes on and box a good fight and use his feet and make Teofimo ultimately. I'm with you. I'm with Tim Bradley. I think this guy is a warrior, and at some point that warrior blood's going to come out. He's going to open up an exchange with Teofimo, and Teo will be able to have counterpunching opportunities.
Yeah, I think what happened with Nakatani was, I think in the beginning, I think Teofimo Lopez had trouble to identify the range of Nakatani. I think in this fight, I don't think he's gonna go through trying to identify the range of George Kambosos, in which he's the smaller guy. He's a smaller guy. I know that a lot of people didn't see that he was a smaller guy because he had them thick shoes and the thick sneakers on the way in the last time. But Teofimo Lopez is the bigger guy. He's gonna rehydrate, more. So I think I the only thing I could think of if we see some type of struggle, probably ring rust. But at this age, I know Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos have been in the ring and been in they probably already did like 2 training camps preparing for this fight. This is like their third, if you really think about it, because it got postponed.
Well,
it got postponed. So how many?
Well,
times?
That's something I'm looking for too. With Teofimo is, when you peak, it's hard to get that peak again when you peak for that fight. And he was peaking really well heading into June because he had maybe the best media workout I've seen since Floyd Mayweather. He was in phenomenal shape. Mm-hmm. And when I saw him last week for Valdez, Teo's always in great shape, but it did look like not quite the 110% shape he was in June. So I wonder how that affected him too. If he's going to come out after a year off and after having peaked in camp maybe once or twice and it gets pushed back, see how that takes a toll on him. But he's a superstar talent. He should be able to handle his business.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. What do you think about what do you think about him saying that he doesn't want to rematch Lomachenko? What do you feel about that?
I think it's the smart move. When I didn't really care about that rematch, and then we saw Lomachenko against Nakatani, and it was like, damn, that was as good as Lomachenko's look ever. There was a different, the way he was committing to his punches that night. His power looked better than ever, and he was just fighting with more conviction, mean. Like, every little amateur habit had been shed when he fought Nakatani. This was Lomachenko at his best. So at that point, I'm ready to see a Teofimo rematch if it's put forth, right? I go from I don't really care about seeing that rematch to, damn, Lomachenko, you look really good. Now I'm interested in a rematch. But at the end of the day, Teo got the win. And what's done is done there. The best move he can do, and I would love to see him fight Tank Davis or Devin Haney, but the real best move he can do, the next legacy move, is Josh Taylor.
That's
because while go ahead.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that 100%. I think the best legacy move is Josh Taylor. That's what shadow over there. That's 2 undefeated champions, pound for pound champions, lineal champions, undisputed champions. It's good resume in their respective division. I think that's the best move. Now, I understand if Josh Taylor is looking up to, let's say, probably in the welterweight division and fighting the Bud Crawfords of the world. And I understand that if you don't want to look back, you don't want to look down. Not look down, but look back at Teofimo Lopez, just like Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to look back at Lomachenko or probably the likes of Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia, whoever's in the lightweight division. So I can understand if Josh Taylor, but I think if Josh Taylor even think about it, I think Teofimo Lopez will actually still be the best guy in his resume. Not downplaying Jose Ramirez, because Jose Ramirez was some people was had him like honorable mention in pound for pound, but I think that would be a good fight, man. All them belts on the line, all them
No, I
go.
agree, man. Look, Ramirez, good fighter. He was able to unify in his division, but as it stands right now, Teofimo's top 5-ish pound for pound fighter. As it stands right now, arguably undisputed champion. So those are two things Ramirez has never been. So I'm with you. That would be his best win. And the thing is, all these young guys are carving out their legacy, trying to find their lane. Tank Davis has started to really find that lane, selling pay-per-views. But while all these guys are trying to find that, carve their way in boxing, Tio, if he could get past Josh Taylor, is a Hall of Famer at 24, 25 years old. He's already a made man.
Yep.
He's already like in Goodfellas. He already got his stripe, except he didn't get the bullet in the back of the head like Joe Pesci did, but he would already be a made man.
And you know what I like about it too is that he's calling out these fights, and he already beat Lomachenko, right? And he's calling out Josh Taylor when he's still hungry, when he's still young enough, really don't got all that money in the bank yet, so he could still be hungry and get these fights in. This is why I do feel like, Teofimo Lopez is a retro type of fighter. Just like when Oscar De La Hoya fought Julio Cesar Chavez at the age of 23 and fought all these competition at a younger age. The Wilfred Benitez, 17, Salvador Sanchez, all these guys on the come up, Mike Tyson, they was fighting their challenging fights at a young age when they were still hungry on the come up. And this is why I think that Teofimo Lopez wouldn't be the same mentally at the age of 29, 30 when he already got the bigger house, way more money. He's questioning, why am I still fighting? Why I'm still getting punched in the face? I'm good. I don't need it. But at this point where he's still, wants his respect, still fighting for his value, yet being in the position that he's in, but yet he's still fighting for that value. So he's still hungry for his respect. He's still hungry to enhance his legacy. And I think this is the best age for any fighter to do it. So I think Teofimo Lopez, just by calling out Josh Taylor, you already see the type of fighter he is.
Yeah, and with Taylor, I could see why he'd be more interested in facing Crawford, because if you can go up and face Crawford, and if you happen to lose that fight, you still got your belts at 140, and the Teofimo option's still there. And for Teofimo, if he can't get the Josh Taylor fight, and I really believe that's the fight him and his dad want, then you're going to run into some problems if you don't go a Devin Haney or a Lomachenko rematch direction, or something, or somehow Tank Davis in a big pay-per-view fight that we know probably isn't happening, and that's where he could run into problems. But I do think they're going to do everything they can to get the Taylor fight. Yeah. With Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter locking horns now, that might have helped Teofimo, because now Taylor can't really. Facts. We'll see. We'll but yeah. Then the timelines they line up. It's not like Crawford couldn't beat Porter and then still be in time to face Taylor first half of next year. So, but still, maybe Crawford gets tied up in the welterweight division now. Maybe that fight with Porter does so hot, win or lose, it's just all about the welterweights for Crawford, and he's not even thinking about Josh Taylor. So we'll see. But I love what you said about them fighting when they're young and hungry, because the dynamics are so different now in boxing. These guys are getting more money at a younger age sometimes, and you talk about how Teofimo at 29, 30 years old, maybe he wouldn't be as right, but we see Canelo Alvarez at that same age, and he's got all the money, and to his credit, he's carrying the sport forward and fighting, lots of top fighters. So it's just interesting to think about, man, how it's all different from today and then. But I wish I had something more to insightful to offer to it.
Nah, I do feel it's like, I mean, I think that's natural to think that at a certain point, these guys have been fighting since they was kids. They've been fighting since they was kids. So at this point, when they're making great money, I can understand it's hard to stay hungry in this sport. It's hard to stay hungry in this sport. You got to be special. Look at Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez will start finishing a fight. He takes 1 week break. He's back in the gym. But that's rare. That's rare. Like, to see somebody still hungry with all the accomplishment when you literally a walking Hall of Fame already. This is why I would love all the young fighters to actually fight those legacy fights, and I think we'll see the best. We'll see the best come out. You know. Um, what do you what do you
Oh
feel?
yeah.
What do you feel the other guys have to do in the lightweight division? If Teofimo Lopez is looking at Josh Taylor, what do you think is the best fights for those other guys in the lightweight division? What should Gervonta Tank Davis pursue? Should he pursue the same thing that Teo wants, that Josh Taylor fight? Or should he pursue Ryan Garcia? What do you see the other guys doing?
Well, I know Gervonta did pursue Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
You know, talking with people. Yeah. You know, talking with people behind. They did. They could too get Ryan Garcia, so that would seem like that fight's just not an option. It sucks when you ask these questions because the answers are so obvious. It's like fight Devin Haney. You know, something like that. But then we know that's not going to happen. So, and then the fight I keep really hearing for Gervonta is Rolly Romero as a realistic option. That fight might be next. And that's a good fight. But I think the best fight realistically for Gervonta is a guy who just signed a fight for October 15th, Mikey Garcia. That was the fight I wanted to see Gervonta in. Because I know Mikey can still do business with PBC. That's not a problem. And he's an experienced guy. He's a puncher. Dealing with realistic options, I like Rolly Romero, and I like Peach's program. So I'm down to see that fight, or Rolly Romero. If we get a Rolly Romero fight, I'm down to see that fight.
Yeah, I'm down to see that fight too. Hi, low. Good looking out, my brother. Entertain your brain with boxing knowledge. Good looking out, my brother. Good looking out. Yeah, that Rolly Romero fight versus God bless you, Hollow. That Romero fight and Gervonta Tank Davis is actually intriguing. Hey, Mayweather, LB said that they wouldn't just fight Mayweather and PBC fighters. So that's the good fight right there as well. I think it'll be entertaining. The promotional aspect will be interesting.
There you go. Like I know people will say, what has Rolly Romero done? But you know this, he's an explosive, dangerous fighter. And
hold on, Sean. You're breaking up. You're breaking up bad now. You good? Yeah, I think you was stuck for a minute. Try to hop out and hop back in, because you're frozen.
No, you got me now, right?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, that's my fault, people. But that fight into a big pay-per-view if it happens.
Say it again. Yeah, you was.
I said, like you said, the press conferences for Rolly Romero versus Tank, he will talk his way into that being a big pay-per-view fight. Even if people look at his record and they feel like he doesn't really have a chance or whatnot, he will talk his way into that being a big pay-per-view fight. And at the end of the day, he does have a puncher's chance.
Yeah, he does. He does. And to be honest, those are the dangerous fighters. Those are those type of fighters is really hard to prepare for, because they very awkward. They punch from different angles. So I think those are the type of tough fights for Gervonta Tank Davis as well. And a lot of people want to see Gervonta Tank Davis with a guy that got punching power. So there you go. There's Rolly Romero. I mean, everybody was saying that he was fighting guys that got no power. Rolly Romero got some power. Y'all under the same umbrella. That's a good fight. I think that's an entertaining fight. I think that's one of the. I think that's more of an not entertaining fight, but I think people are willing to pay for Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolly if you didn't want to pay for that for Mario Barrios. I know you wouldn't have paid for that fight.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to him versus Rolly, because, like you said, Rolly has a few little angles that are tricky. He could catch you with, and his timing. And yes, his counter punching. I know people, they don't associate Rolly with counter punching. They think of him as a slugger, but he's got some timing and some angles that will surprise, I think, Gervonta, and will surprise people a little bit. Now, whether, I don't know, I think one thing that's going to kill him in that fight is experience. I think Gervonta's confidence and his IQ, they've gone to another level. You could see that when he was fighting Barrios. So there was a little bit of that, like Canelo Alvarez, that clinical, cold precision, the calmness. He was just walking him down, knowing he had 12.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to get this kid out of here later in the fight. So his confidence and his IQ are on another level. And it's from shit that only you could get through fighting, through multiple fights and had. So, but he's bold and he believes he will knock him out. If you talk to Rolly, he'll bet $100,000 on it. So
yeah,
the press conference is much of the fight if they actually make that fight for December.
Yeah, the only thing with Gervonta Tank Davis, I believe he's a special talent. I also believe that we haven't seen 100% of Gervonta Tank Davis. I think he's actually getting through with his just gifted athletic ability. But you can see in the last two fights, he's getting outboxed. He is losing the rounds. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking, I don't think Rolly probably will be the guy because he just have the power. I don't think he's not as technically sound as Gervonta Tank Davis, but I think that a person that's technically sound with pop is gonna probably get the best out of Gervonta Tank Davis. It's either get the best of him or they're gonna bring out the best in Gervonta Tank Davis. So, and I think fighters like Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, Mikey Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, I think those opponents could bring out the best in Gervonta Tank Davis or practically lose to them as well.
Right. So in other words, he's got to fight the best of the best for someone to have no chance of knocking him off.
And I want him to fight those fights before, he gets to that point like we was talking about and not be hungry anymore, because he's fighting these fights. He's collecting them checks. At the point he probably hit 29, 30 years old, he's like, I'm not even hungry no more. And I'm just fighting to really just collect the check. I'm just training when I'm contractual to fight. I think when it gets to that point, that's when you're not working on your tools and you're not sharpening your tools, but you're not adding more tools to the toolbox. I think that's the downfall of a fighter. You gotta live this life, in my opinion. I'm not saying go all out in training and keep on sparring like you got a fight coming up, but I think just to keep yourself within weight range and keep sharpening them tools, keep getting better little by little. I think those are the type of fighters. That's the type of lifestyle that these fighters should live.
Well, yeah, with him, we've already missed out on some greatness. A lot of potential greatness. We should already be talking about Gervonta as one of the great 130 pounders of all time, with Floyd, Marquez when they made their stops there, and Hector Camacho back in the day. But if you talk to him and Leonard, they don't care about that. It's just the money was good, and we made the money that we were supposed to at that time of his career, and now we moved on to 35 and 40. But if you love the sport like we do, you're a purist about it, then you feel a little – he should have unified at 130 pounds. He should have took care of Tevin Farmer at 130 pounds, fought Miguel Berchelt at 130 pounds, because we know he would have won those fights. That was the frustrating part about dealing with Gervonta's career at that time, is like, look, I get it if we're asking you to fight a fight. We know he could beat Tevin Farmer and Miguel Berchelt. Go ahead, let him get out there and prove it to the world what he is. But, that's all in the past now. And so what we both want to see is that not happen going forward. We want to see him unify. We want to see him beat the elite of the elite. I do think his wins over Barrios and Santa Cruz and Jose Pedraza are all good wins. Even having a veteran like Gamboa is good to have on the record. So, I'm not selling his resume. He's proven, I think he's a top 10 pound for pound guy, but there's no reason he shouldn't be top 5 right now with his talent.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. I think there's been a question, when we debate about boxing and things and have these dialogues, likes of Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis. Do you think they're ready for the elites? I say they're ready for, in my opinion, I'll give you my opinion first. I think they're ready for the elites. And one thing I do hate is the contradiction when people say, I wish that people fight like it was back in the days. I wish these fighters today would take a page out of the guys back in the days. Now these guys back in the days, like earlier we was talking about, they fight these fights when they're young, you know? When Cassius Clay fought Sonny Liston, well, he was 22 years old. He got put down. He got put down twice before fighting Sonny Liston. Ain't nobody was talking about age or if he's not ready or not. Now these fighters, Virgil Ortiz is saying, I'm ready for the elites. Give me Spence. Give me Crawford. Boots is saying the same thing, but now people are saying, oh, they're not ready. Like, what is it? Do you want them to have that retro mentality, or what is it? I see a lot of contradiction when it comes to fans. What do you think about Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis? Are they ready for the elites welterweight?
Yeah, I think they pretty much are. You know, I mean, of course, I think one or five.
Hold on, now you breaking up. Now you breaking up. Bad now. So hold that thought.
I got you again.
Yeah. Hold that thought.
I got.
Good. You good? Beyond Above Media, what's good? Man, he's ready if he loses to move on. Shout out to Sean, man. Everybody subscribe to Fight Hype. Y'all already know, man, Fight Hype. Subscribe to the channel. Been doing a lot for the sport of boxing. Tank top 10 pound for pound based on his weak resume. Pound for pound list is truly an overrated opinion list. Let them get into the ring. But yeah, I've been saying this for quite some time. I'm talking about Virgil. I asked them about Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis if they're ready. You feel me? They all. I feel like they all ready. I think people in the sport of boxing need to stop contradicting themselves and try to justify if they're ready or not. But yet, people want boxers to do what the guys back in the days used to do. Like, make up your mind what you want these fighters to do. You know? So, that's the way I see it. I think they all ready. I think there's certain fighters that I don't need to see them face the greatest of their competition to say that they're ready. I see Boots Ennis. I see the program that he's in with his pops. I see the skill talent. You back?
Yeah. What's good, Eddie?
What's good?
Yeah. We're struggling out here in Las Vegas with the internet.
What's going out there in Las Vegas, man? What's going out there?
I don't know, man. We got internet provider called Cox, and yeah, they live up to their name every time with their service.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah, but but with Boots and Ortiz, I think they'd be served fighting someone like Ugas or Jamal James or Keith Thurman on the comeback instead of getting right in there with the top two, Spencer Crawford. But Freddie, I think especially Ortiz after that Kaviaskis fight. He really got a good 12th grade level in there for the finals. So he hurt in that fight. He came back. He showed us he could take a shot. He showed us he has heart and dog. Yeah. We know.
Mm-hmm.
You put he's in there with Sean, I think that's a 50-50 fight. Terrence Crawford. And then where he gets hurt and he has to come back from something. And it's really not Boots' fault because he ran right through Lipinets, and I think he's going to run through Delorme, who still showed he had something against Stanionis, even though he lost that fight. So I wish for Boots' sake he could get a Kaviaskis type fight or Jamal James or Keith Thurman or something like that, but those guys don't want to fight him. Yeah. So Boots is so talented that if you threw him in there with Terrence Crawford right now, he might win because he's got so many tools and he's so talented. But, I mean, for his sake, I wish he could get one or two more fights in like a Mean Machine or, the guys I mentioned earlier. But that's where I'm at with Ortiz. I think he's even money with Sean.
Yeah.
I think he's an underdog to butt. And then for Ennis, he has all the tools and the talent to become, top 5 pound for pound the best welterweight in boxing.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
I really got high hopes for guys like Boots Ennis. I do think that he has the potential and the size to actually become a 5-division world champion. You know, if everything
man,
goes,
that's going all the way up to 175.
yeah, man, he's a big guy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I gotta see him in person. He must be big.
He's 5'10", 5'11". He's a big, tall 147. And this is why I do see him going up there, like 147, 154, 160, 168. I got him. I got high hopes for Boots. I just think that his skills and talent, his power and size can transition to those divisions. I do see from the young crop, I do see Boots, Virgil, Teo, Tank Davis. I like Brandon Lee as well. I think he has natural power as well. I think those are the guys that have this natural power. You know what I'm saying? Something you can't teach. Something that you can't teach. Where I do like Chris Colbert. I do like Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. But that's for me. They got great skills, but don't got special power. And this is why I rate those other guys probably higher than and they still growing. Ryan Garcia, I put him in the middle of it, man. I'm still
what about Benavidez, man? We forget he's still
24 years old, 25 years old. Yes. He looked like an old dude.
I know. He's won some belts and been around for a little bit already. So.
Yes. Benavidez performing, November 13 as well, Phoenix. But I like Stephen Fulton too. I like it's just a lot of fighters, man. It's so stacked up in every division nowadays. It's not only the luxury.
I was going to be fight of the year candidate this Saturday, Fulton and Figueroa, and I think Fulton was going to win that fight. I like Stephen Fulton too.
Me too. Yeah, I had Stephen Fulton winning that fight.
Yeah.
I had Stephen Fulton winning the fight. Danny Dubois is back. He's young, so he took his loss. He came back, 2 knockouts, orbital bone. So he good. Put it this way now, in the lightweight division, let me before I leave the lightweight division conversation, if Lomachenko doesn't get the Teofimo Lopez fight, just go straight with Haney. What do you feel about that? He's a free agent, a network free agent. And does Devin Haney, you feel, should sign with Top Rank, or should he get that? I'm not gonna say critique, but shit, because you understand that a lot of people was talking about Bud Crawford. If you want the best welterweight, he should have signed with PBC. He should have signed with PBC.
Look, I didn't like hearing that because I'm of the belief. Look, this is a sport, and you should get your opportunities based on how good a fighter you are, not the promoter you sign with. And I don't even mean it idealistically. I mean, if you've gotten to the point of Bud Crawford's going to, you should get to fight the other best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
So I didn't like hearing all of that. However, the fact of the matter is they turned out to be right. It turns out he should have went to PBC in order so he could fight the best fights in his career. It ain't right that that's the way it has to be. But to those people's credit, I don't like it, but they were right. But go on, Eddie. My bad.
Yeah, let me give this super chat. What's good, Chief? Jerron Ennis needs to get started with these big fights ASAP. His style is young man style. Based on athleticism, he's amazing, but doesn't age well. Yeah, I mean, he just settled with the promotional company that he was dealing with. And I think now he's really gonna, they're really gonna press on the gas in his career, in my opinion. I would like to see a Boots Ennis versus Stanionis. I'd like to see that fight.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great fight.
Right?
That's matchmaking right there, because that's Stanionis. You're not gonna get your big fight yet with a Spence or a Porter or a Crawford, so you might as well have to fight one. And Ennis, same problem. None of them guys are gonna fight you, so you guys might as well fight each other to build a name for yourself and make yourself the real boogeyman of the division. But Chief Fred, that's very savvy observation about Ennis. Only thing I would say is that's always historically been true, but now fighters like Manny Pacquiao kind of made me second guess that, because Pacquiao is the kind of guy you're describing who relied on athleticism a lot. And so I was surprised to see Pacquiao be able to have success all the way at 40 against Thurman and in his late 30s against Bradley. So maybe it's a new day with the nutrition and with everything we have in boxing. So, but that was still a good observation, man. He is a style that a lot of what makes him special is his gifts. So
I got this fight for Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm going to say it right now. Nobody's talking about this fight, but this is the fight that I think is going to transpire. I think it's going to be Gervonta Tank Davis versus Sergey Lipinets at 140.
Nobody's trying to see that, man. He just Lipinets. If Lipinets had a belt like he did when he fought Mikey, then I'm like, okay.
You know how they move, though. you know why? Because what did Sergey Lipinets just recently said? He's going back to 140. He did a mistake going to 147. He is a name. He is a name that's linked to Mikey Garcia. If Gervonta Tank Davis does stay in 140, I think that's a fight. He's with PBC. That's a fight that I think they're going to explore. In my opinion.
I hope you're wrong, and I'm optimistic that Tank, being that he really is carrying pay-per-view shows right now, that they're gonna say no. We need something else than Lipinets.
Rolly.
Yeah, Rolly. Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying if it's not Rolly, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't want the fight. I'm just saying.
I mean, they always got Gary Russell option too. There's always an option they could meet at 35 or something.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite fighters, but that's one of the fighters that really got me frustrated a lot. Gary Russell Jr. High low, good looking now. I appreciate it, my brother. High low. Yeah, man. But what are you now? Now you getting closer to Tyson Fury, and I don't want to skip, of course, Anthony Joshua and Alexandra Usyk. But what do you feel about
the pronunciation was clean?
Huh?
My man is really from New York. He could probably pronounce Eastern European names, Jamaican names, Latino names.
You like that, Alexandra Usyk?
Yeah.
Yo, you know, I used to pronounce when I say Naoya Inoue, the Japanese be like, yo, you're the only one that pronounces his name the way it should.
Hey, but the other cultures, they appreciate that. They respect that. So yeah, that's a good look.
What do you feel about Deontay Wilder and the way that he's looking in training camp? I know training is one thing, but if he could transition what he's doing in training into fight night, what do you feel about what he's implementing in his training?
I mean, at the end of the day, your guess is really as good as mine when it comes to this. One thing I've learned since the heavyweight division got hot again, because for a lot of my life, heavyweight division wasn't hot. Heavyweight division is something different a little bit than the rest of boxing. There's more unpredictability in heavyweight boxing. So, but with that, I don't know if it's, I know that a lot of great trainers, when they talked about making adjustments for a guy trying to win a rematch, they said, you don't tear the whole house down and try to teach him how to fight all over again. You make little adjustments, especially with a fighter in Deontay's age, right? And I'm looking at some of the stuff Malik Scott and him are doing, and it's almost like he's trying to teach him how to box all over again. You know, like they're not just working on a couple adjustments. It's like, we're going to do everything that you haven't been doing. We're going to have you move the head. We're going to have you start up with and that's all well and good, but it goes against what other great trainers I've heard say over the years, which is, look, he's older, and in a rematch, it's about little adjustments. And you can't take a fighter in your first fight, training them and teaching them and try to teach them the whole book all over again. And so I kind of see that happening with Malik Scott. And you get a lot of people out there you talk to in boxing off camera, and they really doubt Malik Scott's ability with Deontay Wilder. But I like Malik Scott. He really knows boxing. He watches, I mean, aside from being a heavyweight himself, he watches black and white tapes and old fights and new fights and all of that. And he's always studying. So they're going to come with their best. But I just, when this fight first was announced, I kind of thought of Kelly Pavlik and Jermaine Taylor, where Jermaine Taylor went back to the lab for the rematch, and he worked on a lot of the flaws he was doing. And he came back, and it was a really competitive second fight, but he lost the fight still again. And so I wonder if that's what's going to happen with Deontay, where he shows up, he works on the things he said he was going to work on. He doesn't just revert back to being Deontay, but ultimately he's fighting a guy that's got his number a little bit, that beats him once again. I can see that happening. I'm going with 3, but we'll see.
I think like, you know, if I just don't compare him to the other fighters and their experience, Deontay Wilder, one thing about Deontay Wilder, we know that he walked into a boxing gym at the age of 21. He accomplished so much for a guy that entered that came into the boxing world at the age of 21 and not really trying to be great, but just trying to take care of his daughter. But he emerged to be a great one of the greatest feared, powerful heavyweights in the history of boxing. Right? He got the gold, he got the bronze medal, tied Muhammad Ali for title defenses in the heavyweight division. So my history of just Deontay Wilder himself, not comparing him to other fighters that have changed trainers or fighters that's broken down and try to build them right back up, is that one thing about him is that he gets it fast. He's a fast learner. To reach this level at the age that he walked in the gym, he's a fast learner. So I do think that he got the basics on lock, because I think that with the basics is what he's been beating people up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows the right hand. Like, everybody in the boxing world knows what Deontay Wilder's going to do, and he still did it. You know, he only failed in his last outing. And even in the first fight, he did knock the dude down twice. So it's not too far off to just tweak certain things. Now, there was two things that I said, well, three things that I feel like Deontay Wilder could have got better. One thing that I don't like, that he was getting caught with feints. Because with Tyson Fury, he sets everything up with feints. If you're already getting caught with feints, that's it. He's going to have a field day with you. You know, that's why he couldn't have a field day with Otto Wallin, because Otto Wallin wasn't trying to flinch on his feints. So it was it was difficult to get Otto Wallin out of there, because he stayed in a position. He wasn't falling for the feints. Deontay Wilder, if you look at the second fight, he was falling for each and every feint that, when I was watching the fight, I'm like, yo, stop falling for the feint.
Fury does have some beautiful feints, though. Oh, and Joshua's got to watch out with that with Usyk, too, falling for those feints. But
one of the best feints in the game, right? So Deontay Wilder needs to take care of that feint. Now, I do not know how you could teach somebody to stop falling for the feints, because I think that's more a reflex thing. But he needs to not get caught with the feint. That's number one. He needs to be more athletic than Tyson Fury. As a collegiate basketball and football player that Deontay Wilder was, Tyson Fury shouldn't look more athletic than you. In my opinion,
right hand kept going in. Everyone talks about the power, but Wilder's fast.
Yeah,
he's athletic. He's fast.
Yeah, so I think he has abandoned his athleticism, you know, with the Luis Ortiz fight and things of that nature, and he's just staying in line just to get hit or just waiting on a punch. So I think he needs to use his athleticism, and I think the body work. If you have a freakish right hand, that doesn't mean the freakish right hand is only gonna hurt if you connect in the head. You could throw that freakish right hand into the solar plex. You could set that right hand for body punches. So you just don't have a freakish right hand just to land in the button, but you have a freakish right hand to connect to the body, slow Tyson Fury down. If it's movement, you got to slow him down by attacking the body first, work your way from the bottom to the top, in my opinion. And that's number 3. But number 4 is, if you have made it all this, if you have made it to where you have, made it to with the weight being 217, 220, don't bulk up to 230, because if anybody know, if you never walked around 20 pounds of muscle ever in your life, you're gonna be slower, you're gonna feel sluggish. He don't carry that. That's not his normal thing. So if you are a freak of nature, which he is, then just be the freak. Be comfortable who you are. Don't try to come 20, 30 pounds with muscle. It's not gonna work. Be who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I see in Deontay Wilder. Be your 220, 219 if it's there. Don't try to bulk up. Be athletic. Go to the body and don't fall for feints. And I think he's gonna have a better outing than his last fight.
Well, I mean, I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. I can see why people tune in and love to hear you talk about boxing, because that was a beautiful breakdown, brother.
Not gonna lie, my brother. Look at that, my brother.
It is. No, because I'm watching the first fight, and when Tyson would lay on the ropes, he'd give his whole side. He'd give all of this right here. To drop that right hand down to the body. So that is one of the big things you see them working on. Him and Malik working on is going to the body. So yeah, That was beautiful breakdown from round one, like you said, of the second fight. Those feints, he was biting on every feint. Yeah,
Yep.
and that messed his balance up, had his rhythm all messed up. So, but we'll see, man. I think you gave a better breakdown on what Deontay needs to do than I can right now. So that was good stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, man. I think that and Malik Scott said about the clinching, right? If he's closing in on you, you know, I don't think that both of these guys have great inside work. I've seen Tyson Fury throw these, you know, try to counter on the uppercut.
Alin made him step it up on the inside late in that fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think more so Tyson Fury was crowding him, and and Deontay Wilder. Yeah, and Deontay Wilder can't really fight off the back foot like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that he needs to clinch, get a little dirty, because Tyson Fury is gonna get a little dirty with you. Let's not forget they took a point off in the second fight, so he's gonna get dirty. Deontay Wilder has to be dirty as well. Make it dirty. Make compromise the ref. Make the ref be like, you know, right? Yo, don't do this. Almost like what Floyd Mayweather was doing to Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather was doing, you know, he was clinching Manny Pacquiao until the ref said, "Hey, yo," was giving him a warning. Then all right, let me adjust.
Right.
But he already got the momentum of how the fight. He already dictated the pace. You know, so compromise the ref. Make the ref work as well. You know, if Tyson Fury coming, hey, yo, pause. Clinch, try to clinch. I know it's going to be hard to clinch a 300-pounder, but also smother his work, you know? And that's
I think an X factor in this fight, though, is where's Fury mentally? Is he as motivated for this fight? Can you be as motivated when you already beat the man as good as you possibly can, and the other guy has so much to fight for, and he's so convinced that he was wronged in the second fight? You know, can you match his intensity? Can you match his hunger for this fight? You know, it's not Rocky. At the end of the day, it comes down to skills and that. But I do wonder, you know, how he is mentally heading into this fight. I know I was suspicious that maybe Jared Anderson and them guys were touching him up in sparring, and that had something to do with him pushing the fight back. And I know Tyson's never been a guy with a great physique, but to me, his body looked softer heading into that first July 24th date than it did last February.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And because I feel like if Tyson Fury can show up in the same form he did last February, he'll be fine. You know, even if Deontay Wilder shows up improved, he'll be able to handle that. It'll be a more competitive fight, but he'll still win. So, I mean, and that's just something we can never measure. You know, that's if he gets knocked out, it can't be weak and say, oh, well, mentally he wasn't there, he wasn't this and that. You know, you get knocked out. So that's just something I look forward to asking him is, are you as motivated as this guy is? Because he has a lot to fight for and you don't have as much to fight for.
I think that a lot of people got a grasp of both of these guys' skills and talent and probably their limitations, you know? It's not fair for us to actually say what's their limitations, you know? But as analyzing what we already seen and experienced from them, of course, I think we could tap in on limitation. But I think coming into this fight, I think more so what is their mentality more than what their skill set is. What is Deontay Wilder's mentality? You know, is he broken? Is he trying to mind F himself and think that he could beat him and the last time was a fluke? Is Tyson Fury, which have, you know, mental illness and things of that nature. He has, you know, got 2 books about it and things of that nature. Right. Is it going to creep up again? Was he going through that, you know? So I think mental, I think with both of these guys, I think we're going to be breaking it down, their mental estate, their mental fortitude. And we already know that both of these guys.
This game is mental, Eddie. As Teddy Atlas was.
True. And I think both of these guys have shown us that they're actually mentally strong, regardless how much people feel how Deontay Wilder took his loss or whatever. We already been through that story and stuff like that. But, you know, Tyson Fury came back for Deontay Wilder. Nobody thought that he was the underdog. Nobody thought that that Deontay Wilder was gonna lose to Tyson Fury, right? So
not the first
he
fight.
came. Yeah, not the first fight. He came through. He showed his determination. He showed his mental strength. And even Deontay Wilder, when he was getting beaten up by by Tyson Fury, he didn't just stay on the floor. He didn't want to quit. You know, so we could see even in his loss, the dude have balls, the dude have mental fortitude as well. So I think when it comes to mental, these guys are willing to die in that ring, in my opinion. Both of these guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't see a guy 218 going after a guy 270, cutting the ring off on him, going after him for 12 rounds who doesn't have heart. You know, that's crazy. I don't know how often you'll ever see that in boxing history. A guy outweighed by 50 pounds and he's the aggressor for 12 rounds. So no, Deontay's got big heart. He's always shown that. And I really didn't hold it against him, his excuses, because a lot of the great fighters I love made excuses after they lost.
All of them.
All of them.
Now some of them make it bigger than the others and make it. But let's not forget George Foreman he said about the ropes, the water. He blamed it on his trainer. Well, he said in the documentary that his trainer told him that if he goes down, never look at the ref and look at me. And he got mad because he felt like you missed the count. Like he blamed on George Foreman's excuse was way more than Deontay Wilder, but everybody has an excuse, even if it's tiny, even if it's big, whatever. Everybody has an excuse. I mean, you have to mind F yourself that no man could beat you. That's the mentality. It's not easy losing in front of the whole world.
If there's no excuse, then that means the explanation was that the other fighter was better than you. Mm-hmm. So see, if you believe you're the best, there always has to be an excuse, a reason other than the other guy was better than you. The moment they start to really accept that, their confidence ain't the same. That's why when Morales and Arguello, when they fought Pryor and Pacquiao, and they did the look in their face of, no, I can't. That was the end of their prime. They were broken. But if you remember, those were both rematches, because the fight before where they got their ass kicked, they didn't believe it. They didn't believe it. See, they needed to be thoroughly convinced that the other fighter was better than them. And that's what Tyson Fury's going to have to do to Deontay. I believe if Tyson Fury beats Deontay, I think Deontay's going to man up. He'll go to the post-fight, and he'll give him his props. But I'm not mad at Deontay for giving an excuse. All the greats did it. I mean, Muhammad Ali sat there with a straight face, with his jaw swollen to here, saying, I believe I beat Joe Frazier in the first fight.
Yeah, man. I think that people do get carried away. I know the excuses does get carried away sometimes, but I'm not going to hold them for that excuse, man. He's done a lot for the sport of boxing. He's been an ambassador. Deontay Wilder has been an ambassador. He took a loss. It's not easy to take a loss for anybody. That's like if I lose a job right now. You know what I'm saying? I lose the job and I got to worry about my bills. I can't tell my wife. I'm going to look at my kids. How I'm going to make, I'm going to probably blame, if I'm working for somebody, the boss. How dare you fire me? You don't give me my family. I've done all my work, but probably I was coming late to work like a bunch of times.
Right.
Come with all the excuses in the world. It was your fault. Let me get this super chat. He said, yo, Sean, get a YouTube channel, please.
Oh, thank you, boss.
They begging you, my brother. They begging you, man.
I appreciate the love, man.
There's a lot of work out there.
What's up?
I said there's a lot of work out there. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, you know that from being your own businessman, your own boss, doing this, man. That's more than half the work itself than just knowing boxing and talking boxing. You got to manage the channel, and you're doing it full. Man, I am on Fight Hype for anybody who wants to interviews. I've been interviewing there for some years now. I do my thing on Sean Porter's podcast.
Hold on, you was breaking up just a little bit. Let me take this out. Hold on, Sean, you're breaking up bad.
Here?
I don't know if I'm breaking up or you was breaking up.
I'm here.
High, low, good looking out. High, low, good looking out. Say it again what you were saying because you was breaking up. I don't know if probably.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I got my interviews on Fight Hype, and I do my thing on Sean Porter's podcast. I appreciate the love. I hope I'm just keeping up with Moonshine, aka Eddie, aka Punch Drunk right now, because my man is dropping gems as always. So. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Talking about the and shout out to the Porter Podcast. Everybody subscribe to the Porter Podcast. Yep. Yo, what you feel finally? Sean Porter versus Bud Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel about that fight?
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I love Sean. Sean is a friend of mine. He's one of the best people I met in and out of boxing. So you know my heart's with Sean. But that said, I feel like Sean is a good chance he's going up against not just the best welterweight in boxing, but the best fighter in boxing. You know, and when I watch Terrence, even more than Canelo Alvarez or Uwe, he could do it all. He could fight going to his left side. He could fight going to his right side. He could fight going backwards, and he can go get you too. And I love that about Terrence Crawford. Great counter puncher. He's an offensive counter puncher. You know, sometimes when he gets going, he reminds me in his own way of Juan Manuel Marquez, because Juan Manuel Marquez, little bit of a slow starter, and then he was a counter puncher, but he was an offensive counter puncher. You know, he was throwing, letting his hands go, trying to get you out of there, and he got better as the fight went along. And then that's the same thing with Terrence Crawford. But that being said, you know, trying to look for holes in Terrence Crawford from my boy, I did notice that Sean might be a little more athletic than Terrence, and his feet might be a little bit better than Terrence. Sometimes Terrence can stand straight up and stay in front of you a little bit, you know, because like I said, he wants to get some. He's not just using movement all night. So I think Sean's gonna have to get low, because Terrence can stand straight up sometimes, and he'll stay in front of you because he trusts his timing. He wants you to get off, and he's gonna counter the shot over the top of your jab, or he's gonna find the opening. He's gonna time you and stay in front of you in spots. And I think in those spots, Sean's got to attack, because Terrence is gonna be stationary there for a little bit. You know, it's on Sean to have the IQ to figure out when those moments are. And then another thing with Terrence is he's been hit with the right hand. Benavidez hit him with the right hand. Gamboa hit him with the right hand. Kaviaskis hit him with the right hand. So
Victor Postal in that 12th round when they was about to duke it out, and then Terrence Bud Crawford said nah. When he got hit,
right,
he felt that. I'm like, I ain't gonna get into a shootout with this one.
So I think the keys for Sean in that fight is gonna be his footwork. He's gonna have to outsmart Terrence's feet. And Sean is so underrated with his feet, man. I did feel he edged out that Ugas fight, and he did it by going in and out, in and out, in and out. He did it better than Pacquiao was able to. And that won him the fight. He's going to have to be really smart with his feet. You were talking about the feints earlier with Wilder and Fury and Joshua and Usyk. At the highest level of the game, your feints got to be excellent. Okay? Because you can't just shoot. You can't just shoot. It's got to set up, and then perfect timing, shoot. And so I think in some ways this fight is happening at a good point for Sean Porter. I think maybe Sean Porter was more of a force of nature 5 years ago, but I think he's more intelligent now. And Sean, with always watching these fights and commentating, his boxing IQ is only getting better. So in that sense, this fight is happening at a good time, and Terrence is almost 34 years old. So we'll see.
He's going to be 34. No, he already is 34 years old. He turned, I think, September 28th. I think he turned it. I know his birthday is September 28th because that's when Earl Spence and Sean Porter did fight. So I know that was his birthday. So, but I agree 100% with you. To add on to what I feel like Sean Porter does bring to the table is, I think that Sean Porter, as I said a lot of times, he humbles the welterweight division. Sean Porter is going to bring out the best in you. He knows, everybody knows that if you're going to fight Sean Porter, he is going to test you. This is going to be the hardest fight of your career. It is what it is. Win or lose, he's going to take a lot out of you. I think that Sean Porter does humble the welterweight division. If you thought that Earl Spence was a head and shoulders above anybody, or Keith Thurman was head and shoulders above anybody around that time, he showed you that he's going to humble this division, and anybody could get it. Anybody is like any given Sunday. Anybody could lose, you know? Anybody could lose it at the top. So I think that Sean Porter brings that. I think that why he may lose those close fights, and he gets into the close fights, because I do think he compromises the judges as well. You know, he smothered other people's work, but he also smothered his own work at the same time. If he is a little bit cleaner, he probably could have won that fight versus Earl Spence and Keith Thurman. But in those championship rounds, there was just a little bit cleaner, where the judges see the clean shots, the clean effective punches. But I do think that Sean Porter is gonna probably do the same thing and take Bud Crawford to the limit. Now, he bounced the thing. His internet is effed up, but he probably popped back again. But let me finish off what I was saying. I think that Sean Porter, I'll say the same thing when he come back. Shout out to Sean, man. Everybody subscribe to Porter's podcast. Everybody subscribe to Fight Hype, doing a wonderful job for Fight Hype, man. I think that Sean Porter brings a lot to the table. I like the way that he was fighting his last fight. It was very, very clean. It was very, very clean. His footwork was great. He gave you that. You're back. Go.
You got it.
So yeah, I was saying, you know, I ain't go too far from it, but Sean Porter again, he humbles the welterweight division. I think that he lost those close fights because the other guys in the championship round just showed cleaner work. You know, and I think that that's what Porter does. He compromises the judges. He smothered his work. He smothered their work. But then in the end, they just get the edge because they was just a little bit cleaner. Now versus Formella, Sean Porter showed you his footwork, showed you his real his boxing ability, clean work, fighting from the outside. And I said, damn, if he does this, he would have won those close fights. You know, just got to be a little bit cleaner but his pressure is elite, is effective pressure at the same time. Great body work, great persistence, great conditioning. Sean Porter probably got one of the best conditions in the sport of boxing. So I think that he's gonna push Bud Crawford to the limit. Now, where I give in this category, the edge to Sean Porter in this category is experience. I believe that in experience, Sean Porter is more prepared for Bud Crawford than Bud Crawford is more prepared for Sean Porter. You know, he's been there with guys that have great footwork and got popped at the same time, like a Keith Thurman. He's been there with the likes of Kell Brook. Yeah, he lost it, but he has the experience of getting in the ring with him. He has the experience of what's his name? Was it Julio Diaz? He has the experience of fighting the Andre Berto. He has experience fighting the Danny Swift Garcia, that's stationary, got great upper body movement, and you know, great counter puncher. He's seen those elite type of skill set, and then Earl the Truth spins. We got effective pressure, southpaw. So he's seen the best. If you switch to southpaw in the Earl spins, and he's seen the best, and he have sparred with Manny Pacquiao, worked with Manny Pacquiao. You know, preparing him, I think, with Miguel Cotto back in the days. And then he's fought probably one of the best guys in Keith Thurman. That got popped. So I think that he's felt and has experienced better quality of opponents than Bud Crawford. So in experiencing wise, I think that Sean Porter's seen way more than Bud Crawford in the professional level, in my opinion. Now, in terms of skill set, I think that Bud Crawford, he knows how to adjust in a timely fashion. So if Sean Porter does come with the type of pressure that he does, I still don't think that Bud Crawford has ever faced anybody with that type of pressure as well. But I do believe that Bud Crawford has the IQ to adjust in a timely fashion. I have seen Terrence Crawford turn into Bud Crawford. I seen when sometimes his boxing is not working and he needs to go into that fight mode like he did versus the Mean Machine. He had to go into that fight mode.
Right.
And I don't think the Mean Machine was a better boxer, you know, coming in. But to beat the Mean Machine, Bud Crawford had to turn that fight into a fight. Now, are you going to do the same thing to Sean Porter? If you do that, then you're opening the door for Sean Porter, because he is going to mule you. He's going to push you back. And Bud Crawford is actually a smaller guy than, not height wise, but a smaller guy than Earl Spence and Keith Thurman. If he could push them back, he is going to push you back. So I think it's an intriguing matchup. I won't be surprised at all if Porter beats Bud. You know, for me, it's still a 50-50 fight. In my opinion, of course, I think that Bud Crawford has shown us more skills, more skills, more tools in the bag. But are you able to bring all those tools in the bag? Almost the same thing I said about Lomachenko. Yeah, Lomachenko, you could probably see probably gonna have more skills than Teofimo, but you're not gonna bring all those tools in the box because you're gonna get caught. You can't afford to bring.
Although Loma can never, my big critique with Lomachenko was he can never fight off his back foot like Terrence Crawford can. And So, but with Terrence Crawford, unlike Lomachenko, you got a guy who could fight in all 4 directions, forward, side to side, and back. But still, your point is still the same. My bad. I didn't mean to.
No. I think I think it's a great fight. I think more it's a better. I think that like, I already heard people say that they're giving it to Bud Crawford, and that's legit, right? That's legit.
Right.
But I just can't say.
Favorite. But
yeah, I just can't say but it's going to win. I just can't say like that.
No, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I can't for the reason you just said, because I think Sean, he's going to make it a fight like he always does, and Terrence, I think he's going to be happy to go toe to toe. I think Terrence isn't going to be shying away from that. And I want to give Sean a lot of credit, because this fight is really happening because of Sean Porter, man. This isn't so much Bob Arum, and I know the WBO ordered it. This isn't really because of Bob Arum, Terrence Crawford, or Al Heyman. This fight's really happening because of Sean Porter. PBC didn't really want this option for Sean Porter. That's why it's not a PBC fight. That's why it's not a PBC ESPN fight. It's going to be an ESPN pay-per-view. And a big reason to that is Sean Porter literally is doing everything that the fans ask people to do. So I would just hope that should he lose, if he loses this fight, not should he lose, if he loses this fight, like, let's still make sure to give him credit, because he could have fought another Sebastian Formella. He could have just sat on his hands and waited for a Keith Thurman rematch and made plenty of money doing that, or rematching with Dennis Ugas. So, but he went across the street. He made this fight happen, and I think Sean deserves a lot of credit. He's a true throwback fighter for doing this. So I give him a lot of props for that.
Yo, and you know what? And I didn't even know that. I thought that it was a PBC ESPN. So this is a strictly ESPN. He went directly across the street to get this fight.
That's the information I've got.
Okay. Yeah, because that's Sean. But look at his resume. It speaks for itself. He's willing to fight anybody, anytime, any place. That's his resume. That's one thing about Sean Porter. He's gained more fans losing than actually winning. He get the standing ovation.
It's funny what happens like that. They leave it all in the ring, right?
Hey, and that's why I always say in my channel, I said, it's not all about just winning and losing, but it's how you win and how you lose. Nobody liked it the way that Jeff Horn won. Yeah, it was a win, but was people happy with that? The people was happy with the Casimero and Regadao fight? No, right? But so it doesn't matter if you win and lose, but it's how you win, how you lose. Look at Gabe Flores this weekend. He got beaten up each and every round. But the way that he just wanted to come back out and really go out in the shield, now everybody's like, yo, okay, that kid got beaten up, but damn, that kid got balls, bro. That's one thing you can't question.
Yeah, he did. I love Gabe. And, I said, man, he took his ass whooping like a man to the utmost.
Yeah. After the fight, he's like, give this man a title shot. He came from a lower division to fight me. He gave him all the credit, and it just shows. This is why some fighters do set the tone and how they take a loss, and this is why we could differentiate when somebody can take their loss real good and be like, yo, but this person took his loss like this. Like, why are you taking your loss like that? But this is boxing.
Also, different circumstance though. It's different taking a loss on the come up than taking a loss when you are the champ and you're on top. You have to be in a position to be more humble when you take a loss on the come up than if you're Deontay Wilder, 41-0, and take the loss. That's when you're going to be more prone to the excuses or finding other reasons why. When you're on the come up, you have to be more honest that you have to get better. Does that make sense?
No, perfectly good sense. Perfectly good sense. Do you think, let's say with Deontay Wilder, was more so that he's a knockout artist and he's the demolisher that got demolished? Is it harder for the knockout artists to have this aura? Because, see, you could be a heavyweight, but let's say guys like Mike Tyson, guys like Foreman, guys like Deontay Wilder, that's knockout artist, the baddest man of the planet, the guy, when you look, he could knock out any man in the world. When they lose that, it's not only losing that, but they lose that aura. Is that probably that hits harder with them? Not the L, but they're not Superman no more.
Probably. But we did see Foreman, after years and years, he came back. He had the character to come back with it. We saw with Tommy Hearns, after he got knocked out, big right-hand puncher, he was always able to pick himself back up. I think the most famous example was Tyson. You know, that's the example we really think of when you think of the feared puncher who got broken down and never really was able to come back from adversity.
Hey, Anthony Joshua
came back, but he did. But people are still looking to see if Joshua can be the Joshua that fought Klitschko, or is he too timid to be that guy again? Is the best Joshua we're going to get now is that Ruiz rematch Joshua? I feel like people will really feel like Joshua is that guy when we see that guy again, the knockout artist. So it's because he got his belts back against Ruiz. He got his belts back. He did what he had to do. But
he did stop Kubrapulev.
He knocked him out, and he did a good job in that fight of mixing the two Joshuas.
Yeah,
you know, he did, and that's what you want to see. But I'm just saying, he got his belts back when he beat Ruiz. But to really, really, really be a great heavyweight champion, you know, he's going to have to beat Tyson Fury. And I think to beat Tyson Fury, he's not going to beat him the way he fought Pulev and Ruiz in the rematch. He's going to have to lean closer to the guy that fought Dylan White that first time and fought Klitschko. He's going to have to go get him and be the aggressor in that fight.
Facts.
You have to be like what Otto Wallin did times 10, because he can implement a lot of the game plan Otto Wallin did against Fury, but he could do it to a higher level because of his talent.
Yeah, and I heard they're going to be fighting too. Isn't Dillian White and Wallin?
Dillian White and Otto, that's a good fight, man.
That's a good fight.
Otto Wallin is the definition of a solid guy to me. He's just solid. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Textbook, good jab, good fundamentals. Not a big puncher, not a big athletic guy, but he's a legit heavyweight, a legit top 10 guy. He's a good test to see if you're a pretender or not.
And lucky that they didn't stop that fight with the cut. Lucky they didn't stop that fight.
Oh my God, I was at that fight and I'm like, are we really about to have this guy from Sweden become the heavyweight? It's crazy.
I know that was politics right there at his best.
Hey, shout out to my guy Jorge Capetillo. He saved the day.
Oh,
yeah, Jorge Capetillo, man.
Oh man, yeah, that was crazy. You think Manny Pacquiao is gonna retire? Yes or no?
No. I don't know who. I don't know when.
He's like Apollo Creed and Apollo in Rocky IV. You don't know now, but you will know when the time is over. You will know when the time is over.
I mean, run it back with Ugas, like Sean told me. Just run it back with Ugas then. If you're gonna keep fighting, just fuck it then. Run it back with Ugas.
Yeah, I say run it back with Ugas. And if you're gonna run it back with Ugas, just make it a finale fight. Just make it just like like Derek Jeter, Kobe, and these guys when they had their so everybody buys it, everybody see it, everybody give it.
I never had that in boxing. I like that.
Right?
We've never really
hire us, man. They need to hire us to market this, man.
Yeah, man. This is it. He's got to call in some favors, you know, have some famous athletes show up and really put it over. This is it.
Just make it big. Just make it a whole like a good.
Do that Staples.
Months. Yeah.
So all the stars can show up, so it could be a Hollywood thing. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's what Manny Pacquiao deserves and needs, and then that's it. You know, just make it a finale. This is the last Manny Pacquiao you ever gonna see him. He ain't gonna do no exhibitions, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that he should go for one more fight. I know there's a lot of people that want to retire, but I think that he
didn't look shot.
He looked it good with two years layoff.
Yeah.
He looked it good. I don't even know what. Oh, that's it. He need to retire. I know, but he looked it good. He looked it good, man.
Yeah, if you can't compare him to who he used to be, or else then you're gonna say he should. But if he was just a regular welterweight out there, you'd be like, that guy can go. He can still go.
What do you feel about Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor? I said both of these girls should be getting paid 7 figures. I don't care.
See, I hear you, bro, but it's
get them the money.
At the end of the day, you get what you know. I'm prone to say you get what you draw, right? So if you can draw 7 figures, you should get paid 7 figures. But as I think that, I can imagine Clarissa Shields and these women fighters go, there's a lot of fighters getting paid 7 figures that don't draw 7 figures now. And
There is, and this is why.
there is. That's facts.
Like there is certain events, right, where or you pay your fighters so what they draw, but then there's other events where you do it for investing.
True.
Mikey Garcia, $7 million, DAZN to fight Jesse Vargas. Was he
True.
worth $7 million after the Earl Spence fight where he got 3 and probably the pay-per-view and money, but he got $7 million. I think they did that for an investment for DAZN, you know. The same way with Eddie Hearn said they was throwing money to a lot of fighters. You know, once they got that deal with DAZN, they was throwing more money than the value of those fighters.
Yeah.
I just think if this is the
Vargas
biggest,
made a big bag fighting Thomas Delorme in Chicago. They didn't, you know. So yeah.
Why not do it with the best woman fight that they consider the best matchup ever? You know, one of they 2 walking legends, 2 walking Hall of Famers, 2 of the most decorated, not only female fighters, but fighters in the history of the sport. What? It's 1 million asking for too much? Is 2 millions in the pot? You know, Katie Taylor's gonna get $1 million, but 2.2 on the pot give or give her 1.5, give Amanda 1 point, and just do it as an investment, because I do think if you promote it right, if the promoters promote this fight, and you know she's already in partnerships with Jake Paul, they pushing for that fight, and he's gonna be in the promotion as well. Why not? I don't think that's hard to ask. That's the bar right there. So I think that, you know, they should invest in it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I know they love you for that. You're doing your part. But,
I'm a ladies' man. What can I say?
No, I mean I want to see the fight too. I think that fight could sell out in Ireland, and who knows? Maybe the Garden,
Madison Square Garden, St. Patrick's Day, baby.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You already know. St. Patrick's Day, Madison Square Garden, New York City. You got Brooklyn. You got Manny Serrano fans, and you got Katie Taylor fan. Let's not forget they packed. They did pack the theater, the MSG, the Hulu theater, when it was Heather Hardy and Amanda Serrano, and they was on the undercard of Abdulaev and Devin Haney. But that was their crowd. So I seen when women sell the tickets and they still get the peanuts.
No doubt. I
see the boxing guys had a stop shown on the track. You're frozen, brother.
No, man. No, I'm here.
All right.
I'm here, baby. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
No, you're right, man. Because even when Canelo was fighting Rocky Fielding in Madison Square Garden, there was a lot of Irish flags who showed up just to watch Katie Taylor. So she can sell tickets in New York, and so can Amanda. But see, the problem with what you said is it makes a lot of sense, and shit that makes a lot of sense usually doesn't happen in boxing, Eddie. You know, so that's the problem with what you said right there.
It makes so many. It makes so much sense. So I gotta not make sense. This fight in Saudi Arabia. How about that?
There you go. That's more likely to happen. That's more likely to happen that they fight in Saudi Arabia on a Joshua undercard than St. Patty's Day sold out at the Garden
on a Monday.
On Monday, there you go. No, but
during Ramadan.
And in terms of the fight itself, you know, maybe I don't know because it's a more North American style or something. Like I prefer Amanda Serrano's style. I really love how she's an aggressive counterpuncher. Oh, yeah. I think we were saying that about Terrence Crawford earlier. She is too. She's putting the pressure on, but she's daring you to let your hands go and bah, bah, into the body. She's an incredible body puncher, right? But watching the Olympics, it made me realize sometimes the prettier style, even sometimes the cleaner work, doesn't always win the rounds. Yeah. And Katie Taylor, she knows how to win rounds. She knows how to get her punch numbers up there. And Amanda's getting touched more as she gets older.
Both of them.
Right. That's true. Both of them. Right.
Both of them. I think that Katie, I said it, Katie Taylor is the master of the point system. She is a machine. She's gonna throw more high volume punches than all her opponents. But when she does, just like we was talking about, Guys like Kambosos. Yeah, you throw a lot, but then you're subjected to be countered, in which Amanda Serrano sits on her punches, and she's a great counter puncher as well. So the mesh is very, very good. I to be honest, I actually thought that Katie Taylor did lose to Pursuit. I did think that she did lose to. It was a close fight. Could have gone either way, right? But I thought that she lost. But I could see if Amanda Serrano that could close in the gap, got the footwork, got the athleticism, she could get Katie Taylor to a shootout. And when it comes to a shootout, I just don't think that she's gonna get the best of Amanda Serrano. I think they both could get touched up. I think they right in that age, their prime. IQ is up, physical ability, intellect is coexisting at the highest level for both these women. I think it's a great fight in my opinion, and I wish it could happen next.
If they can't turn down career high payday though. You know, I hear you, man. They for the quality of fight it is, 7 figures is fair. But if they're gonna throw Amanda, 6 figures, and Katie more, if they're offered more money than they've ever made before, I get it. Maybe you don't have to jump at the first offer, but I want to see the fight happen, man. I want to see the fight happen. So y'all, you know what I mean?
I think
I don't want them to hold out too much to where it just doesn't happen at all. I understand you not making the fight right away, right now, because you want to get paid what you feel you're worth and what you are worth. But at some point, even if that payday you don't quite want happens, I would love to see them take it because it's the career-defining fight for both of them at this point.
Yeah, I think she'll take it, even if it's a little bit under $1 million. I think she'll take a 700. I think closer to. I think she would take it, and I just think it'll be a great for boxing and I think it'll be not only one of the best female fights, but it'll be one of the best fights. Just like how UFC gives respect to their ladies when JJ fought Zhang, and they said that was one of the best UFC fight. They didn't say that's one of the best women UFC fight. They were just that's one of the best top 5 fights in MMA UFC history. So
maybe they can maybe this could be the first fight with 3-minute rounds if they get it done and fight in New York. I think that'd be a great
hell yeah. Get this fight done. Get this fight done. Shit. Now, but yeah, man, thank you for joining me, my brother. Sean, I know you're busy, hard-working dude.
Oh, I'm good, brother. I'm good. Putting the screen in, it's all over. Go ahead.
But yeah, man, thank you everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow, Happy Hour Thursday, the most dangerous show in the YTBC. We got David McWaters tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. David McWaters, Lopez.
Right? Yeah. Teo's manager, right?
Yeah. Teo's manager tomorrow. Y'all already know, man. Tune in tomorrow. God bless each and every one of y'all. Peace out. God bless. And on to the next.
All right. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you. Tell them where to find you, matter of fact. Tell them your social media platform.
Just my name, man. Sean Zattel over on Twitter. Sean Zattel over on Instagram, Facebook, even add me as a friend. But interviews are done on Fight Hype, and some of my analysis and whatnot is on the Porterway podcast, and now on this channel too. So, thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, part of the family. Let's go.
Thanks, y'all.